The hidden psychology of people who feel drained after seeing family they love. Welcome back to Simple Mind Psychology, where we explore the quiet, hidden patterns inside the people who think too much, feel too deeply, and don't always fit the world's idea of normal. Today, we're going somewhere I've been wanting to take you for a while. There's a moment that happens in your car after a family gathering. Maybe you've just pulled out of your mother's driveway, or your in-laws' cul-de-sac, or your sister's suburban street. The radio is off. Your partner is staring at the road. And as the house disappears in your rearview mirror, you feel it, that long, slow exhale your body has been holding for 6 hours straight. By the time you walk through your own front door, kick off your shoes, and sink into your couch, something inside you whispers, "Finally." If that scene feels familiar, if you've ever counted down the hours until you could leave, hidden in a bathroom just to breathe, or driven home in silence, wondering why you feel so depleted by people you genuinely love, please hear me when I say this. There is nothing wrong with you. For years, I believed there was. Most of my 20s, I just thought I was broken. I thought I was cold, selfish, a bad daughter, a worse sister. I would force myself through Sunday dinners and emerge so exhausted I'd lose 2 days recovering. And the guilt was the worst part, because I do love my family. So why did being around them feel like running a marathon in heels? It took me years to understand. And what I learned is the hidden psychology behind why some women feel more at peace alone than at family gatherings, and why that's not a problem to fix. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 6 reasons backed by research, psychology, and the lived experience of so many women just like you. Pay close attention to reason number 4, because that's the one that finally gave me permission to stop apologizing for who I am. Quick note: this video is for educational and reflective purposes. It's not a substitute for therapy. If anything here brings up something heavy, please reach out to a licensed professional. You deserve real support, not just a YouTube video. Let's begin. Reason 1. Your nervous system knows the difference between loved and safe. Here's something that might shake you a little. Family can be loving without being safe, and your nervous system knows the difference long before your conscious mind does. Picture this. Your aunt comments on your weight the moment you walk in. Your mom asks, again, when you're going to give her grandchildren. Your brother corners your partner in the kitchen for a political debate that's already turning into a fight. Everyone is smiling. Everyone is family. And yet by hour 2, your shoulders are pinned up around your ears and you can't remember the last time you took a real breath. This isn't in your head. It might be biology. There's a concept from neuroscience called neuroception, a term coined by researcher Dr. Stephen Porges to describe the way your body unconsciously scans your environment for cues of safety or threat. While the broader theory is still being debated in academic circles, the underlying observation rings true for many of us. Our bodies pick up on emotional tension long before our minds do. When that signal fires, your body releases cortisol. Your muscles tense. Your breathing becomes shallow. You don't have to be in physical danger for this to happen. Emotional unpredictability is enough. Critical comments are enough. The lingering feeling of having to walk on eggshells is enough. Let me walk you through what's actually happening inside you. At a tense family dinner, your senses pick up signals, tone of voice, micro-expressions, that one comment your aunt always makes. Your body scans all of it, decides not safe, and within seconds, stress hormones flood your system. Your shoulders tense. Your breathing changes. You smile through dinner, but your nervous system is already exhausted. Now flip the scene. You walk into your own home. Soft light. Silence. Your space. Your body finally reads safe. Muscles relax. You exhale. So when you walk through your own front door and feel that tidal wave of relief, that's not avoidance. That's regulation. Your body is returning to baseline after hours of low-grade alarm. You don't need a good enough reason to feel unsafe. Your nervous system isn't asking your permission, and it isn't lying to you. Hold on. Pause for a second. I want you to actually picture yourself at the last family dinner you went to. Where were you sitting? Who said something that made your stomach tighten? You know exactly who I'm talking about, don't you? Okay. Now keep that person in mind, because this next part is going to hit different. Reason 2. You've been performing for decades, and frankly, you're furious about it. Let me ask you something honestly. When was the last time you were fully, completely yourself in your parents' house? Not the helpful one, not the responsible one, not the peacekeeper, the achiever, the daughter who has it all together. Just you. For most of us, that answer is harder to find than it should be. And the more you sit with that, the more something else starts to surface underneath the exhaustion. Anger. Quiet. Slow-burning. Decades-deep anger. Once you see this pattern clearly, you can't unsee it. And let me say, feeling that anger doesn't mean your family is bad, or that you need to cut anyone off. It just means you're finally letting yourself notice what's been costing you. Naming it is the first step. What you do with it comes later, slowly, and probably with a therapist. In the 1960s, psychiatrist Dr. Murray Bowen developed something called family systems theory, and one of his most powerful observations was this. Every family unconsciously assigns roles to its members, and once those roles are set, the system fights to keep them in place, even when the role no longer fits, even when it costs you everything. Maybe you were the responsible one who took care of your younger siblings. Maybe you were the easy one who never made a fuss because someone else in the family already required all the attention. Maybe you were the strong one who absorbed everyone's emotions while no one ever asked about yours. Whatever role you were given at age 7, your family is often still expecting you to play it at 27, or 32, or 34. Maybe you're 28, building your career, and your mom keeps asking when you'll settle down. Maybe you're 33, and still trying to recover emotionally from every Christmas. Maybe you walk in as the woman you've worked so hard to become, and within an hour, you've shrunk back into the daughter who quietly does the dishes for 12 people, while your older brother lectures you about your life choices. And the kicker? Nobody, not one person at that table has ever said, "Sit down. We've got the dishes. How are you doing?" Psychologists call this family role regression, and it's not a personal failure. It's the system at work. Your brain pulls up an old map drawn when you were a child and tries to navigate the present using outdated coordinates. The performance is automatic. The exhaustion is the cost. So here's the truth no one's going to tell you at the dinner table. Staying home alone means you don't have to be anyone today. Not the daughter, not the partner, not the fixer, the listener, the buffer, the keeper of everyone else's feelings. Just you. And no, that doesn't make you selfish. It makes you someone who has finally stopped performing rest. A small, practical tool. Try the half-attendance rule. When you do visit family, set a hard time limit before you arrive 90 minutes, 2 hours, whatever feels honest. Tell your partner, stick to it. You don't have to stay until the last person leaves to be considered a good family member. Quick check-in. If you're nodding right now, comment "me too" below. I want to see how many of us are out there. Okay. Ready for the science part? I promise to make it fun. Reason 3. Your brain might be genuinely wired differently, and it's honestly kind of hilarious. Okay, story time. Picture 2 sisters at the same family party. Sister A is in the kitchen, telling a loud story, gesturing with a glass of wine, glowing brighter with every laugh. Sister B is in the corner, quietly counting ceiling tiles, calculating exactly how many more minutes until she can politely leave without offending anyone. Same DNA. Same parents. Same upbringing. So what on earth is going on? Get ready. Because this is the part where neuroscience gets weirdly satisfying. Researchers have found that introverted and extroverted brains may rely on different neurochemical systems. Extroverts tend to be more responsive to dopamine, a fast, exciting, reward-driven neurotransmitter that lights up in response to external stimulation. Crowded parties, loud conversations, group activities, these are situations where their brains feel alive. They're not shallow for loving them. They're chemically wired for them. Introverts tend to rely more heavily on a different system, one that involves acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter associated with inward focus. It rewards you for reading by a window, for a long, thoughtful conversation with one person, for the kind of slow afternoon where your tea goes cold because you got lost in your thoughts. There's also research published in the Journal of Neuroscience suggesting that introverts may have thicker gray matter in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain associated with deep reflection and abstract thought. Dr. Marty Olson-Laney, a psychotherapist who summarized this research in her work The Introvert Advantage, has long argued that introversion isn't a flaw to be fixed, it's a different operating system. Let that sink in. For years, you may have been treated like the less fun sister, the antisocial cousin, the one who needs to come out of her shell, when in reality, your brain may have been quietly doing more processing, more reflecting, more thinking the entire time. You don't need to come out of your shell. Your shell is a skull, and inside it, you've been building something extraordinary. Reason 4. There's an invisible wound from childhood you may have never named. This is the one I promised would change everything. So pour yourself something warm and listen slowly, because this might be the missing piece you've been searching for your entire adult life. There is a concept developed by Dr. Jonas Webb, a clinical psychologist with over 25 years of experience, called childhood emotional neglect, or CEN, and it explains more about why we feel the way we feel around family than almost anything else. Here's the heart of it. Childhood emotional neglect isn't about what your parents did to you. It's about what they couldn't do for you. They may have fed you, clothed you, driven you to school. They may have loved you in the only way they knew how. But if they didn't ask, "How are you feeling, sweetheart?" If they didn't sit with you when you were sad instead of telling you to stop crying, if they didn't validate your inner world, didn't notice when something was off, didn't teach you that your emotions mattered, then a quiet wound formed. One you couldn't see, couldn't remember, couldn't name. Pause for just a moment. Put your hand on your chest. Take one slow breath. You're okay. We're going to walk through this together. Dr. Webb describes several common signs in adults who grew up with CEN. See if any of these feel familiar. You feel different from other people, but you can't explain why. You're remarkably good at sensing what other people need, but you have no idea what you need. You feel guilty when you rest. You struggle to identify what you're feeling sometimes. You only know you feel off. You've experienced a quiet, persistent sense of emptiness, even when your life looks good from the outside. If any of those resonate, please don't self-diagnose from a YouTube video. CEN is a real concept, but it's also nuanced. The best way to explore whether it applies to you is with a therapist who knows the framework. For now, just let yourself notice that this is a thing. That alone changes something. This may be why visiting family can feel so quietly devastating. You aren't just sitting at a dinner table. You're sitting in the exact environment where your inner world first learned to go silent. Your body remembers. And what you're feeling afterward isn't weakness at all. It's old grief, surfacing in a new house, asking to finally be seen. But here is the beautiful part. Dr. Webb has helped thousands of people heal from CEN. And the first step is always the same: naming it. You can't heal what you can't name. The moment you let yourself believe that you weren't imagining it, that there really was something missing, is the moment your healing begins. Dr. Webb teaches a practice she calls A. Identify what you're feeling. Accept it without judgment. Attribute it to its real cause. Then act in alignment with what the feeling is telling you. Try it the next time you come home from a family visit feeling drained. Don't push the feeling away. Sit with it. Let it speak. It has been trying to reach you for a very long time. Okay, I need everyone to sit up straight. We just went somewhere deep. Now I need you with me, because I'm about to say something that might ruffle some feathers. Reason 5. Wanting to be alone is not a problem to be fixed. Let me be very clear about something. Wanting to be alone is not a phase. It is not a season you're going through. It is not a sign you need to get out more. It is not depression in disguise. And I'm tired. Genuinely tired of women being told that loving their own company is a sign that something is wrong with them. So let me just say it plainly. It isn't. A 2023 study from Harvard's Department of Psychology, led by researcher Michaela Rodriguez, found something remarkable. The way you think about solitude largely determines whether it heals you or hurts you. Participants who reframe time alone as a positive, restorative experience reported significantly less negative emotion and more peace than those who saw it as social failure. In plain English, solitude becomes nourishing the moment you stop apologizing for needing it. So here's what solitude actually is. It's making tea exactly the way you like it and refusing to apologize for taking 20 minutes to drink it. It's reading a book without rushing to finish it because someone needs the dishwasher loaded. It's crying at a song and not having to explain yourself to anyone. It's choosing for maybe the first time in your adult life to be inconvenient, to take up space, to not be available. And if that sounds radical to you, that tells you everything about how long you've been disappearing for other people. You don't have to earn solitude. You don't have to justify it to your sister, your partner, or your mother-in-law. It is not a consolation prize for not having plans. It is the destination. Some of the wisest, most creative, most loving people in history were also the most devoted to their solitude. You are in very good company. Reason 6. You've outgrown roles that used to fit, and that's a quiet kind of grief. Here's the part that hurts. Sometimes growing up means accepting that the people who knew you first don't actually know you anymore. That you can love them and still not fit in their house. That you can be deeply grateful for everything they gave you, and still need to build something different. That you can carry your childhood with tenderness and still refuse to live there. That's not betrayal. That's evolution. But it does come with grief. There's a concept from Carl Jung called individuation, a term he used to describe the lifelong process of becoming a more complete, integrated version of yourself. For many women, this work begins surprisingly early. You start asking questions in your late 20s, your early 30s. Whose life am I actually living? What do I actually want? Who am I when I'm not taking care of everyone else? The trouble is, family systems are usually not built to celebrate this kind of growth. They're built for stability, for keeping everyone in their assigned role. So when you walk back into your childhood home as the new version of yourself, there's an invisible pressure to shrink back into who you used to be. Maybe you've left a relationship. Maybe you've lost someone. Maybe you've finally started saying no after a lifetime of saying yes. You've changed. But every Sunday dinner still treats you like the woman you were at 18. And you're allowed to feel both the quiet pride of becoming yourself and the soft sadness of leaving behind who you used to be. The girl who fit in that kitchen. The girl who laughed at all the same jokes. The daughter who never asked for anything. You can love her. You can mourn her. And you can still choose today not to be her anymore. Choosing your home over a chaotic family event isn't running away from family. It's running toward who you've become, even when who you've become is someone your family doesn't fully recognize yet. That takes courage. And it deserves to be honored, not apologized for. Quick question, and be honest with yourself. When was the last time you felt truly understood by someone in your family? Not loved, not provided for. Understood. If you had to think hard about that answer, this video is for you. So here's what I want you to take with you tonight, friend. You're not too sensitive. You're not too introverted. You're not too much. You're a woman who has finally earned the right to listen to her own nervous system, to honor her wiring, to name her wounds, and to choose her peace. You can love your family deeply, and love them best from a place of fullness instead of depletion. Those two things are not in conflict. They are the same act. For some of us, staying home is the most honest part of our lives, the part where we finally meet ourselves. And here's the last thing I'll say. You are not alone. So many women carry this same guilt quietly, in suburban kitchens and Sunday afternoons and parking lots after holiday dinners, wondering what's wrong with them, wondering if anyone else feels this way. We have always been here. We have just been too tired and too unseen to find each other. Until now. Before you go, two things. First comment, one word below. Which reason hit you the hardest? Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? I read every comment. I want to see which part you needed most. Second, if this resonated, my next video goes deeper into reason 4. The one about the invisible wound. We're going to look at how to actually start naming what was missing in your childhood without falling into blame or self-pity. Subscribe so you don't miss it. We're slowly building a quieter corner of the internet here, for the women who think too much. I'd love for you to stay. Take gentle care of yourself. I'll see you Tuesday.